Hey guys, how's it going? I haven't seen this video. We're gonna go over QAnon conspiracies that are tearing through evangelical American. This video is by Vice. Every time I make a video, commenting on somebody, I love saying thank you for creating this video. Vice, please make more of these videos. I love commenting on them. I don't agree with everything you're saying, but you know what? Who else is gonna make them if you're like Fox is not gonna make anything like this. CNN or CNBC, they're not gonna be doing any journalism, anything like this. So all right, this is raw. We're getting into it. Let's party.
Anybody that believes what the left believes is absolutely on the side of evil.
I'm sorry, who is left? What is left? You mean like left and right, like political parties, or like Republicans, Democrats, and they switch throughout history? I'm sorry, left? What is left? Because if I look at left and right, let's look at the presidents, right? Let's start from the top of the pyramid. The presidents have the exact same war crimes. The presidents have exact same constitutional violations of American people. So I'm sorry, what's the difference? Reagan violated Second Amendment. Clinton violated Second Amendment. Bush violated Second Amendment. Bush again violated Second Amendment. Obama violated Second Amendment. Obama violated it again on his second term. Trump violated Second Amendment. Joe Biden violated Second Amendment. Okay, now let's go. You want to go over the First Amendment, over American political prisoners? You want to go over the freedom of press? It's exactly the same violations. Okay, let's go over Fourth Amendment violations. Not every single president in America, because there's George Washington. But if I'm looking at let's start past last 100 years, every single one of them violated constitutional amendments, left, right, and fucking center. Every single one of them violated human rights, left, right, and center. I'm sorry, what's the difference between the right and left? Could you help me understand, Mr. Nice Expensive Suit?
America may fall one day, but it will not fall on Joe Biden.
I'm sorry, America will fall one day, but it will not fall under Joe Biden? If that is what he said, I couldn't hear very clearly. You know what? Let's go back.
America may fall one day, but it will not fall on Joe Biden.
It will not fall on Joe Biden or under Joe Biden. But that's not important. The Joe Biden here is not important. What's important to me is America may fall one day. I would like to hear your standard for standing. If he thinks that America hasn't fallen, then what is his standard for standing? What would America standing be like? If he assumes that America is still standing, let me run a couple of Q&As by you. Police killing people left, right, and center. Is that America still standing or America fallen? Okay, every single politician being corrupt, is that America standing or would that be America already fallen? American presidents committing atrocities, war crimes, left, right, and center all over the fucking world, would that be America standing or America already fallen? Congress committing war crimes and approving of war crimes, refusing to investigate corrupt politicians, would that be America standing or America already fallen? I guess just me and this piece of shit here, we just have different standards for standing and already fallen.
Trump will be back, whatever that looks like.
Trump will be back. Okay, question. Why do you want him back, and back to where? Are you know he hasn't left America. He's still here. He's not in outer space, all right? He's not with his friends in Dubai. He's here. He's not with his friends in China. He's still here. He's still in America. Where is he going to go back to? The White House? He's going to become the president. Why? Is it because he is so good, right? Hillary imprisoned like he said he would. He upheld Second Amendment like he said he would. He drained the swamp from corrupt politicians. There's thousands of people from Washington, D.C. that he put in prison, right? Oh, no, he didn't put anybody. Okay, then could you help me understand why you want him back?
QAnon runs on the tracks that faith has laid.
I would have to disagree with that just from personal opinion. QAnon runs on tracks that FBI and NSA has laid, but what do I know, about American government?
Clips myself. It's first-hand information.
Has laid.
I watched the clips myself. It's first-hand information.
It scares the shit out of me.
What clips? Vice, dude, Vice, like, come on. What clips? Did I miss some, or is your editing a little deceiving?
So QAnon is making you guys look like crackpots.
I don't think that's an unfair estimation.
Could it be that you're wrong?
No.
About what? Jesus, Vice, like, I like your shit, but I haven't seen this video. I swear to God, I'm watching this for the first time. Vice, whoever edited this video, editor, bro, like, I understand you're not in charge, but like, talk to the producer. Tell him, hey, you know, this is really, like, listen, I understand, you know, I'm supposed to be editing the way that you want me to edit it, but this is really bad. Like, I don't know. What the fuck is QAnon? Like, you're supposed to give me something. What the fuck is QAnon? What does this guy believe? What the fuck? That's like me telling you, you know, about cocaine without explaining what cocaine is first. Does that make sense?
Absolutely not.
The mysterious figure behind QAnon, the sprawling conspiracy theory that holds that the world is controlled by satanic pedophiles, hasn't...
The QAnon belief, again, I actually don't know much about QAnon, so this is actually a genuine thing. I actually have no idea what the fuck they are. That the world is being ran by satanic, wouldn't really say that's a theory when there's literally, like, I don't know, facts that kind of support that?
And if Washington doesn't have enough to talk about these days, the Washington Times reported today that unidentified White House aides in the Carter, Reagan, and Bush administrations now are being investigated for using the services of a call boy ring. The paper reports that 2 of the male prostitutes were given a late-night tour of the White House last year. The White House press secretary, Marlin Fitzwater, said he knew nothing of this investigation. NBC's Lisa Myers reports her sources in the U.S. Attorney's Office say the investigation is not focusing on prostitution, but on fraud involving the use of credit cards to pay for the call boy services.
I mean, have you heard of, I don't know, Bill Clinton? Have you heard of, I don't know, George Bush? I don't know. Have you heard of Obama? Have you heard of, I don't know, Donald fucking Trump? Have you heard of Weinstein? Not really sure if it's a theory when there's little documents that kind of say it's a fact, but whatever.
hasn't been heard from in almost a year. And Trump, who fanned the flames of Q, hasn't been in office in 10 months. Yet the wild theories that have helped fuel the movement live on, undaunted by logic, truth, or reality.
The world goes under deep state Illuminati possession.
What next? Shut your churches down?
The pedophiles, the Satanists.
Take your kids out of your home?
With their wicked plots.
Rape your wife?
You think we are on the losing side? Well, you better look at history.
Put you in a concentration camp?
Oh boy. I mean, from one guy to another, completely everything out of context. Vice. Okay, whoever was responsible for this piece, like, this is bad. This is just bad journalism. This is horrible editing, and I'm not blaming the editor, because editor is just doing the best he can, you know. I'm blaming the, you know, the person that put this whole fucking thing, the producer. That's who I'm blaming. That was fucking horrible. You know there were concentration camps in America, right? Like, that shit existed, right? With the slavery, with Indians who literally were told to get their shit and move into a different territory. Do you know Trail of Tears? How Chinese were treated when they were in California, building California? Do you know the Japanese concentration camps or free labor camps, slave camps, whatever you want to call them, in 1943? Like, that shit actually happened in America. What are you talking about? I know if you're trying to pose these people as crazy people, I'm not sure if them giving facts is the best way to go about it. But, you know, what do I know about journalism? I'm just commenting on your video.
Since its emergence in 2017, QAnon has used myriad channels to spread its wild theories, most of them online. Now, the movement has found other ways to radicalize new believers, notably evangelical churches.
Well, I gotta tell you, evangelical churches, just evangelical churches or just churches overall, are a great method to spread any theory. Look at Roman Catholics, look at Hitler, just look all around. Religion has always been a great driver for making money and spreading whatever the fuck you want.
Recent study found that as many as 1 in 4 white evangelicals believe in core tenets of QAnon.
If core tenets of QAnon is that the world is being ran by Satan-worshipping pedophiles, I'm not a religious person, don't go to church, don't read Bible, like, it's kind of hard to deny that's not true.
Morning guys, how we doing?
We're on the outskirts of Nashville, Tennessee at the Global Vision Bible Church.
This is a church run by a man named Pastor Greg Locke. The parking lot is filled to capacity. The tent is crowded. Now, Pastor Locke exists square in the middle of the Venn diagram between right-wing politics and evangelical Christianity. He's really leaning into the notion of a stolen election, evil Democrats, pedophiles, elites, and his church is booming.
Evil Democrats are just as evil as evil Republicans. Democrats, Republicans, it's the same wing of an evil fucking monster. Same wings of evil monster. That's what it is. Number two, stolen election. In America, it's kind of hard, very, very much impossible to steal an election when a select group of people, very teeny tiny group of people, actually elect the president. American people don't elect the president. American people elect how electoral college should vote, which doesn't mean that they actually have to vote that way. Just so you know, American presidents get elected by a small teeny tiny group of people, a few hundred people, not actual American people.
You can do better than that for the
Woo! Oh yeah, that is how you make money. That's how you make money.
A lot of the people that started watching us started making their journey here, and so we grew numerically from about 350 to about 1,200 within 15 months.
Locke has amassed millions of followers on social media, 2.2 million on Facebook alone, while railing against things like COVID masks, the fraudulent election, and pedophiles.
Okay, first, masks are optional. Let me explain myself. There is no arrests for not wearing a mask. If there would be arrests, if wearing a mask would be a law, then everybody in Hollywood would be guilty. All the governors would be guilty. The president, the vice president would be guilty. Wearing a mask is an option. It's not a fucking law. If it's a law, then there's a lot of people that are going to prison. Second, stolen election. I mentioned that, how it's electoral college that elects the president, not the people. And then the last one is a pedophile ring. Well, there are pedophile rings all over the fucking world, so I'm confused. Like, Vice, you're not telling me you're like somehow pro pedophile rings or something? Because I don't have a problem exposing pedophile rings and taking them out of existence.
Which he claims are everywhere, particularly on the left and in the halls of power.
Okay, well, that's first, they are literally everywhere. Okay, when I say everywhere, I don't mean like every single inch of the world, but like your city, your small town has pedophiles. So like, don't get bent out of shape just because you don't like the facts.
We got a buck wild government.
Yes, we do. Demonic.
While he says that he's not a follower of Q,
yes, we do.
On the left and in the halls, which he claims are everywhere, particularly on the left and in the halls of power.
We got a buck wild government.
Yes.
We got bump wild governor or buck wild? I'm sorry, I don't understand what he said.
We do. Demonic.
While he says that he's not a follower of Q, this is all classic QAnon stuff.
I've told you the whole time this election was fraudulent. We got so much proof. The only people that can deny it are crack-smoking, demon-possessed leftists.
That's what happens when you don't know how to read and you don't understand how presidents get elected in America. That's all I have to say. But I am very glad that this guy is making a lot of money. A lot of fucking money.
Evangelicals have been a powerful force in GOP politics for years. But faced with a changing nation,
well, not only in GOP, they have been, religious organizations have always influenced politics. That was like always a thing. It's like thousands of years ago, so.
The church is finding itself older and whiter than the rest of the country. Fearing diminished influence, many pastors are grasping for answers and finding them in conspiracy theories.
People like, do you honestly believe that the military uncovered tunnels beneath the Capitol building and beneath the White House and in the Five-Fingered Lakes? Do you really believe that they found kids? Yeah, both live ones and dead ones. And if you try to keep that on the DL, you're just as complicit as Hunter Biden and the rest of them bunch of crack-smoking perverts.
Oh boy. Okay, so he's talking about kids being found in tunnels. There are tunnels under the White House. That's like not even news to anybody. They've been there for like decades. So not really sure why that would be like news to anybody. I guess maybe if you're like completely fucking uninformed about everything, if you're a complete idiot, that's news to you. Like, president does have secret escape fucking tunnels under the White House. So like, don't, like, that's not fucking new. And as far as the kids being found in there, well, I'm gonna do some research after the video. If there are any, I'll put him right here, whatever I found. If there isn't anything, then whatever. God damn, look at that fancy fucking outfit. All right, that is fucking fancy. Awesome hat, awesome fucking shirt, some kind of rainbowish or something, pants, holders, or whatever you want to call them. Awesome. Did I mention that awesome hat? Awesome beard. Just look at it. Jesus Christ, this guy's on point.
Wow. Locke is a masterful preacher.
Bruce Grenzer is a former evangelical pastor turned atheist who lives in rural Ohio. He says that the spread of conspiracy theories like QAnon in the evangelical church has been a long time coming.
There was this increasing adoption of white nationalistic thinking, starting with Jerry Falwell and Paul Weyrich back in the late 70s with the moral majority, for example.
I just want to comment on that. Yes, that is true, but you can't say that is true without also saying that has been increased, national socialistic or communism thinking. If you look at the growth of nationalism and you look at growth of communism, they are parallel lines going up. Just so you know, there are the uneducated people are like, it's going up. They're not decreasing, they're increasing.
And so they birthed this baby that when Trump, it came of age, they realized that the way to power was through politics.
That literally has been true since existence of time. The way to power is what? Not through politics. The way to power is always through politics or religion.
I was in one church in Southeast Ohio for 11 years. I preached a certain viewpoint. It was certainly we were a Christian nation.
Bruce preached fundamental evangelicalism and conservative values for almost 3 decades. But by the late 1990s, his religious and political beliefs had softened and eventually left him completely. But even though he moved away from the...
This is going to be a wild one. On a scale of 1 to 10, how many molestations do you think this guy has under his belt? Great outfit, but does it come with any molestations? Just curious.
The church, conspiracy theories still found a way to his family.
None of them are evangelicals, except for my third oldest son. Great kid, but was very non-political his whole life, never voted. And then in January of 2020, something changed. He has gone to a Southern Baptist church. He's told me that my pastor believes a lot of the same things I believe. He sees this otherworldly element working within the government now.
I mean, that was always true. I mean, America was founded. What was the religion, what were the religious views of early American founders, Dare I say Illuminati? I know, y'all like George Washington, Christian guy, and blah, 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 all that stuff. I understand the typical picture that you are taught in your Sunday school and, in your regular school, and the church paints. Do you understand that a lot of them were Masons? Just so you know, guys, that America wasn't founded by all these Bible reading, Bible believing, yes, but all these modern stuff that is believed about Bible. Do you understand that, right? Just so you know, like, what you believe about the Bible is not really all the same stuff that early founders of America believed about Bible. Just so you know.
When Biden got elected, all of a sudden, Satan was sitting in the Oval Office.
Do you feel like your son...
Okay, and as opposed to when Trump was in White House, in White House, the Satan wasn't sitting in office.
Son has been led astray.
It's hard to sit by when someone espouses those things and there's really nothing you can do about it.
I mean, you can prove them wrong factually, unless they have facts and you don't. That would not be good, right? If all these crazy people have facts and you are not the crazy one but don't have any facts, boy, that's an uncomfortable situation. Yikes.
Bruce's son didn't want to be interviewed and didn't respond to our emails. They don't see each other as much as they used to.
I want to hope that there's going to come a point where he wakes up one day and says, this is not the path I want to be on, but my fear is he's going to become more deeply involved in these things. He's not only an awesome son, but he's the father to my to my grandchildren, and they mean the world to me.
This is what I would love to. This is what I will say. Not I would love to. I will fucking say. To QAnon believers or Trump supporters, left wing, right wing, chicken wing. Guys, nobody gets power in America by being a good guy. There isn't a single president in the last probably 100 years that's not a war criminal. There isn't a single governor probably in 100 years in the entire fucking country that's not guilty of violating human rights and constitutional rights of their own people in state. Actively, which means making more laws, or passively, just simply ignoring, the violations that exist. The way of America, the way of the future for America, for success, is to put those people in prison. Get rid of them. Man sacrificing their life for action, for justice, taking action for justice. And I made a video about that. Just go to my channel and look up Action for Justice. That's why this channel is called Man of Action. It's not man of sitting on the couch, jerking each other off, drinking beer, getting high, watching TV. It's men that are willing to take action. Guys, if you think that one president is better than another president, you have been fooled. They are equally corrupt. They are equally bad. If you think that Trump is somehow better than Obama? What are you talking about? What are you talking about? Trump said he was gonna drain the swamp. What did he do? He could have done it. He's the fucking president. He could have put thousands of evil people, of politicians in prisons. Thousands. The entire fucking Congress should be in prison. He didn't do that. He could have put Hillary Clinton in prison. He didn't. Look at Second Amendment. What did he do with Second Amendment? Second Amendment violations. Left, right, and center. Passive and active. What about First Amendment, right? Did he remove unconstitutional laws that violate First Amendment? What did he do with Edward Snowden, right? Did he say, hey man, I gotta apologize for these evildoers, come back to America. I want you as an advisor in the White House. I want you to help me clean this country up. I want you to help me make America better. Did he do that? No. What about Julian Assange? Didn't do anything. What about Chelsea Manning? Didn't do anything. What about all these other American heroes that sacrificed their lives to expose American corrupt politicians? Did Trump do anything about that? No. I'm not a Trump hater. I just understand that Trump is no different than Joe Biden. Joe Biden is no different than Reagan. Reagan is no different than Obama. Obama is not any different than George Bush. They all have their own interests in their mind. They could give one shit about. They don't give a fuck about you. Let's go. Let's just watch this.
You better know that America may fall one day, but it will not fall to Joe Biden. It will not fall to Nancy Pelosi. It sure ain't gonna fall to Cuomo. He's out.
Guys, do you honestly think that this guy is doing this for any other reason besides making a lot of money? If you think he's doing this for any other reason that he's making, except money, right? How many corrupt politicians has he done investigations on? I don't know how much he makes, but I know churches. I grew up in one. Bible reading, Southern Baptist Church. All right. Gambling is sin. Smoking, sin. Drinking, sin. Sex before marriage, sin. Video games, sin. Harry Potter, sin. They weren't like crazy, one of these crazy, like loud, crazy money-making churches, but, they had old school established beliefs, They believed that sodomy was wrong and disgusting, and it is disgusting. They weren't going out and, being all this, throwing rocks at, sodomites or something like that, or, killing sodomites or something like that. They were just, passively saying it was wrong. That's it. It wasn't even taught in church that it was wrong. It was just like, hey, you know what? It's wrong. That's it. So they were kind of like chill Baptists, if we can, like super chill, like ultra chill Baptists, religious people. Nothing like this. Like there would be never a pastor, I grew up like in Russian church, so it's like super chill. If you can think of like Mennonites or something like that. That type of people. Guys, if you think that this guy is, doing all these dancing around, all this screaming, besides making ungodly amount of millions of dollars, prove me wrong. Did he put any corrupt politicians into prison? Did he, start investigating, policemen that violate people's rights, that kill people left, right, and center? Maybe mayor that's supporting unconstitutional laws, right? Did he do anything? I mean, besides making money, what has he actually done? What kind of sacrifices has he done, right? I'm not a Christian. I wouldn't identify myself as a Christian. Do I think God exists? Yes, but I'm not a religious person. I'm not a church goer. Gone are the days of me donating thousands of dollars. But it's just, I come from Russia, you know. My grandfather was, you know, a Baptist. His grandfather was a Baptist, you know, or his dad was a Baptist. So I come from like a long lineage of Baptists. Not, you know, dancing, money-making preachers like this. I'm talking about type of Baptists that, you know, get executed by communists, go to gulags, go to labor camps, spend, you know, old school Baptists. If you know Chinese Christians, that type of stuff. If you can think of Middle Eastern, you know, Arab Christians, that kind of stuff. You know, you're a Christian, but you're a Christian that is very likely to be executed next, that type of stuff. So for me to see this and say that this guy is somebody that's doing anything besides making money, I would be lying to myself. And that's not something I do.
I'll give a witness right there.
Ludicrousness aside, the genius and insidiousness of Q is that anyone can be a part of it, and you don't even need to call yourself a believer. People can regurgitate Q tropes until the cows come home while still claiming, with a straight face, that they have no idea what QAnon is. Even Trump did that.
Well, I don't know much about the movement other than I understand they like me very much, which I appreciate.
That's how you run for president. That's how you win elections.
He's up there right now. He's talking about Joe Biden. He's talking about Nancy Pelosi. Now he says he's not doing it. Well, you know, if it walks like a duck, quacks like a duck,
Exactly. If he is making millions of dollars, this guy's just making millions of dollars.
People call me a QAnon conspiracy. I ain't no Q, okay? I'm not in all that nonsense. I'm a truth seeker and a truth teller. And I'm very calculated with what I say. And so I'm very aware, very self-aware. I don't say things that I couldn't fight for if they sued me.
And let me ask you another. That's actually very good approach. That is a very, very good approach to life. Seriously, say things that if someone sued you, you know, that's a very good approach. And it's kind of tough. It's kind of tough, to be honest with you, because you always, you know, because here's why it's tough. Because things that you think are true are actually not true. So you say something that you think is true, all of a sudden, bam, actually it wasn't true, and all of a sudden, you know, you're just a piece of shit for lying. You know, here's something else. Vice, or, you know, the guy that was the producer, guy in a pink shirt. If it talks like a duck, maybe it is a duck. It just hit me. What if someone believes certain things about a movement, a theory, or a belief system? Does that automatically make them, if they only believe a part of it, does that make them fully with it, like part of the system? I don't know. I would have to say no, you know, like I would probably have to say no, right? I'm not a Trump supporter by any means. I was just thinking maybe there's something I agree with Trump. I mean, actually, I can't find one thing that I would agree with Trump on, or whatever. I'm just trying to make a point. Hey, if there's this much, right? If there's a whole thing, like here's the deal. Like I said, I do believe that God exists, but I don't believe in big churches or these, you know, pastors scamming people for millions of dollars. I'm not about that, but I do believe that God exists. You know, there's an example for you. Just because I believe that God exists doesn't make me all of a sudden some kind of Catholic or Mormon or Christian or something like that. Does that make sense?
I say things that I have verifiable evidence or eyewitness testimony or pictures or a background and a narrative to. I'm a little smarter than a lot of people give me credit for.
So you have evidence of Biden being a pedophile and Kamala Harris being
I can promise you, if I say it from that platform, just like when I said Tom Hanks is a pedophile, it does not matter to me if people say Tom Hanks is going to sue you. I wish he would.
Why don't you?
Actually, that is a very good way to go about things. Here's why. Because when somebody sues you, now they, what is it? It's like you ask them for documents. I forgot what it's called. God damn it, just slipped out of my mind. But yeah, you can ask them for a whole bunch of stuff and they are required to give it to you.
You show us the evidence.
I don't have to show you the evidence. I will when time comes.
So you must also know that this is exactly what QAnon says as well, right?
It doesn't matter to me what QAnon says. Everybody wants to paint you in a corner and say that you're a conspiracy theorist. The problem is the only difference between truth and conspiracy lately has been about 6 weeks.
I gotta agree with this money-making dancing monkey.
Yeah. Because now we need some new ones because they all happen to be coming to pass.
Do you believe that the left is evil?
Absolutely.
I disagree with that. I completely disagree. I do not distinguish between left and right. To me, it's exactly the same thing.
1000%.
Anyone involved?
Anybody that believes what the left believes is absolutely on the side of evil.
And you say that to your congregation?
Absolutely.
Does it not concern you that when you're telling people that a large group of people are evil, that they might take it upon themselves to act on those
Well, two
words?
things. Number one, Jesus did the same thing. And number two, there's no seatbelts in that tent. They can leave anytime they want to. Nobody's keeping them there.
What is keeping them there is that Locke is not only validating extreme ideas, he's anointing them, giving them biblical truth.
Could it be that you're wrong?
No. Absolutely not. Not in this issue. Now, have I been wrong before about things? Yeah. Have I apologized? Yes. But in these massive issues, to me, they're like fundamental staples. And there's no way I'm wrong about them.
You know, when those Capitol rioters prayed in Jesus' name with evangelical sounding prayers, I think it was a stunning wake-up call to a lot of evangelical leaders that we have an issue in our movement we need to address.
I agree. I want to address the January 6th thing. It's very sad that a bunch of Americans got misled and did something that was 100% useless. It's very sad. Instead of taking care of corrupt politicians and removing corrupt politicians from office and putting them into prison, they decided to break into a building. Like, what does that do? What does that do? Nothing.
Ed Stetzer is an evangelical pastor and the executive director of the Billy Graham Center at Wheaton College outside of Chicago. As far as evangelical street cred goes, Ed has more than most. And he's not surprised that QAnon is spreading in the church.
What is it about the evangelical movement that kind of lends itself to this form of conspiracy thinking?
I think for people of faith, QAnon runs on the tracks that faith has laid. It appears that QAnon has latched onto some of the yearning and aspirations of evangelical Christians for some change in culture and society. They feel that their views and their ideas are no longer welcome. And what happens when people do feel marginalized is that they find ways to push back against that.
I'm curious.
Not only they push back, but they gather together, they team up. Right? Look at all the people that believe that aliens exist, right? They're all about each other. They're like, oh, I seen a new picture. That picture is all about the community. That community is this, right? Shit is real super fucking tight. So when you marginalize people, what happens? You want to marginalize us? Okay, not a problem. We're just gonna become a tight woven community. That's the worst thing that you can do.
About what you're hearing from fellow pastors out there about this.
I think overwhelmingly pastors are not QAnoners and are concerned at the disproportionate presence of QAnon believers inside their churches. They ask me regularly, how do I address this in my church? And particularly too, they've been taught, we all been taught in seminary not to politicize the pulpit, and are trying to figure out how to address this in their congregations. I think it's a very real issue.
So
it's a little hard not to politicize the pulpit when you're making so much money. I'm just being honest with you guys.
It seems that these kind of QAnon churches are cropping up more and more.
Right. And I think cropping up is a good way to put it. People are wanting their ideology to be reflected in their church, where prior times it was more wanting their theology to be reflected in their church. But people are being discipled by their cable news choices, spiritually shaped by their social media feed, and the end result is they're saying, well, if I believe this, I want to hear this on Sunday.
Exactly. It's a self-fulfilling confirmation bias shitstorm.
I grew up in the church, and he says the same stories I've always known. They kind of are so similar to like things that are happening. And it's like, wow.
How do you feel about when he says things that, Joe Biden's a pedophile or the left is evil? Is that something that is off-putting to you?
No.
Not really when there's proof out there. I mean.
Okay. Pastor Locke is...
Why didn't you ask her for the proof? Jesus fucking Christ. Purple shirt. I'm guessing this is a producer here or whoever the fuck. Journalist guy. Why the fuck didn't you ask her for proof?
Describing a biblical showdown right now between good and evil.
Yes.
He's described Kamala Harris as demonic.
Yes.
Or demon possessed.
Yes.
He has said that Joe Biden is a pedophile.
Yeah.
He describes this network of child trafficking tunnels.
Yes.
You believe this?
Yes, I do. And it is demonic. And I believe wholeheartedly in my spirit, without anyone else telling me anything, that Trump will be back, whatever that looks like.
Oh, God. Oh. She could use a little bit of education, a little bit of that brain scrubbing, brain vacuuming. Guys, if you think that Trump is gonna make some kind of magical fucking return, why do you even want that? Why do you want that? Why? You're telling me that Trump was better than Obama? Really? You're telling me that Trump is some kind of fucking different corrupt politician than corrupt Obama, than corrupt Bush? Really?
In an effort to curb the spread of COVID disinformation, Locke has been permanently kicked off Twitter. But as his in-person attendance continues to grow, so does the concern felt by folks like Bruce.
I want to mention something about Twitter. The fact that they are banning people, to me, I actually think it's good. Here's why. Although I am pro free speech, I am pro free press, I think it's good because it lets me know which company, which business I should not do business with, right? It's kind of like, you know how somebody went to a restaurant, they got a food poisoning, they told you about it, and now you're like, probably not going to be going to that restaurant, but maybe it was just, maybe it wasn't from that restaurant. Then the second person's like, dude, I went to that restaurant after told not to go there, and I got food poisoning again. And the third person tells you the same thing. I'm like, all right, I'm not getting I'm not getting diarrhea and, trying their shit. Nope, not happening, right? So when Elon Musk, as much as I don't like Elon Musk, just because of his failed promises, decided to leave Facebook, like, I completely understand that, I understand that when, adults, parents that are like, you know what, I'm tired of my kids sending nudes to like pedophiles. I'm banning him from Facebook. I'm removing Facebook from his phone or her phone or his computer or whatever. Like, I completely understand that. So I like when companies show their true colors, what they are truly about, and the fact that 50% or even higher, even more than 50% of people are these right-wing people. The fact that 50% of Facebook users in America are Trump supporters, Twitter users, right? YouTube users, Instagram users, Snapchat users are Trump supporters, or even more than 50%. That tells me they're okay with it, I don't think Facebook or Twitter should ban or should change these policies because most people support them. Does that make sense?
I grabbed drinks with him and his friends, a current pastor and an ex-pastor turned journalist, to chat about what, if anything, could be done.
So I feel like I'm stepping into a joke. A pastor, a journalist, and an atheist walked into a bar. And I'm not sure what the punchline is going to be, but
it's okay. We aren't quite sure either.
But so what do you guys think is happening in this moment?
To me, it's a very fear-based faith structure.
Oh, absolutely.
And of course, the political structure is fear-based as well. There's always got to be an enemy that you're fighting, right. Whether it's Satan or the evil leftists. They're always
Exactly. Look at Trump. Look at Trump. He was about to drain the swamp, didn't do shit about that. He was gonna do something with China, didn't fucking do anything with that. He was talking about all these terrorists, didn't do anything about that. He was gonna do something about cartel, didn't do shit about that. So, to gain power, you have to have an enemy that people will rally behind you to get rid of. Make sense?
It has to be some kind of evil thing that you're fighting, because if you don't fight, we're all going to hell.
There's a lot of identity stuff that's going on in politics right now. The issues of abortion and the issues of gay rights. And so whenever the Republican Party took a turn and started becoming more and more extremist, I think that everything started to just snowball.
If January 6th taught us anything, it's how easy that stuff can turn violent.
Are you worried about what this might...
Yeah. I'm very, very, very disappointed in Americans that went to Capitol thinking like they're gonna make some kind of difference. And what did Trump say? Trump said, I was gonna be there. Guys, I got you. I'm gonna be there. I'm gonna be there on January 6th supporting you. Was he there? No. He was fucking chilling, relaxing, having a good time while people were getting killed and arrested. His supporters were getting arrested.
Mean for the church?
And the implications for the Christian church and its witness are substantial. And I think it is part of our responsibility. These are people that are part of our congregations. These are people that we would say are our sisters and brothers in Christ. And when we see them being led astray, we need to help bring them back.
We're not gonna give in. We are gonna go forward, and then we're gonna go.
Oh, God. Jesus Christ. Guys, that's how you make money. That is how you make money.